Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of The Devil's Due. All rise, court is back in session. With me, as always, is a man who always manages to stay on target, Mr. Drew Celestino.
Loosen up.
Stay on target?
I'll try and stay on target.
Stay on target?
That's what I do.
How you doing, sir?
What's up?
Here we are, back again in a new environment for us.
Yeah, we're kind of in the holodeck, but it's blue.
Kinda.
So it's like the Orville holodeck, where it's just different enough not to get sued over.
Just enough. We are currently at GameOn Land on Delaware Avenue in Buffalo. Later on in the show, we are going to talk to Josh, the owner and proprietor of this wonderful establishment. One of the reasons we are here is that our little show is branching out. We're trying some different things. Like we said last episode, we sponsored a little prize in an X-Wing tournament, and there's a fighting game tournament coming up here Saturday, February 10th, starting at noon. It is simply called the Fighting Game Tournament. We'll get into why it's called that later on in the show. We are sponsoring a pop bonus. We're sponsoring a $100 pop bonus, and that pop bonus is getting applied to Dragon Ball Z fighters. And then we're also donating a exclusive, cannot be bought in stores, Hulk Bruce Banner combo pack Funko Pop, and the winner of the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite gets that.
All right.
So yeah, here we are. Drew, how's it going?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Opening statements?
Opening statements. Well, it's been a whirlwind of emotions over the last few days.
Would you say you are in a glass case of emotions?
We've shattered the case.
Okay.
So it's been kind of nutty, man. I've run the gamut. So the long and short of the immediate concerns, we were planning this kitchen renovation, right? And it's been, on the wish list for a long, long time. And, we started to kind of really investigate ways to do it, and specifics, details, cabinetry, and flooring, and yada, yada. And that's all well and good. And unfortunately, I started to see the price tag on what we wanted to do spiral upward very, very rapidly. So I kind of ran the gamut of being hell-bent all in on this idea to petrified, can't sleep at night, afraid to death to do it. So, whirlwind of emotions, and I think we've just kind of opted to we're gonna hold off on all that business.
I'm sorry, man. I know you were looking forward to that.
I was
kind of like Chris Rock and I'm going to get you, sucker, when you're trying to negotiate the price.
Well, I didn't get to negotiation phase yet.
Pour it in my hand. I don't need a cup.
They can't pour cabinets and countertops into your hands, unfortunately. Yeah, put it this way. In theory, it could be done. But should it be done?
You're going by the Ian Malcolm philosophy.
Sure. Yes.
So preoccupied whether or not you could, you didn't stop and think if you should.
Yeah. So I stopped and thought if it should be done. And, it could have been done maybe, but would I be able to sleep at night knowing what it took? And then we're doing great on the market right now with housing values, but 5 years from now, God only knows.
Yeah.
And if something were to go downturn and for whatever reason we ever want to get out of this house and go somewhere else, like, what then?
Yeah.
So
housing upgrades are always like car upgrades. You're never going to get back what you put into it. You do it for...
you can, but you gotta be in the right spot. And I don't know that we're quite in the spot where I want to throw some money. That much money.
Were you thinking of like a home equity loan or something?
Refinancing, and it would depend on the appraisal. They would come and reappraise the house, and then based on the reappraisal, you get a new mortgage for the reappraisal. Then after fees, you get the balance between what you owe on your mortgage and then what they gave you, right?
Gotcha.
So, yeah, you know, it was there, but I just didn't feel good about it. And if you don't feel good about it, it's probably not a good idea. So that's the personal aside.
That's good. That's a good grown up decision. Not to say you're not grown up, but
it's a very adult decision.
It's a good decision to make.
And part of being an adult is, unfortunately, knowing when you got to tap out a little bit. And that it kind of hurts because you want it, but you can't necessarily have it. We are going to do some home upgrades. We're not going to blow all that money, but we are going to do some stuff to get the place up to snuff and just do some little things to keep the place looking top shelf, as top shelf as it can.
Cool.
Without, killing us with debt. So that's okay. But wrestling has owned my life for the last few days. In a way that it hasn't. And I mean, you might think that it does all the time, but it really doesn't. I just happen to catch things that I really enjoy. But the weekend was a jam-packed weekend of events of wrestling.
If memory serves, the Royal Rumble was this weekend.
Okay, so we had 3 nights, mind you, of NJPW New Beginnings.
Okay. Friday,
Saturday, and Sunday night in Japan, which equated to mornings here. So Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning here. Okay. And the Royal Rumble on Sunday, WWE Royal Rumble, and NXT TakeOver the night before on Saturday. It's a whole lot of wrestling happening here, right?
Yep.
And I have to say, big things occurred, man.
New stuff has come to light.
New stuff has come to light. Some joyous, some heartbreaking, some romantic even. So let me. Okay,
I'm just saying this place is going to close at some point. They are going to kick us out.
All right. Well, we're gonna bullet point this then for you. First item of note.
I mean, it's not till like 10.
That's fine.
O'clock.
I could go on. And
I know you could.
So, first item of note. You'll be happy to hear your favorite NJPW star. To me and Jay's delight, actually, that he is your favorite NJPW star, Minoru Suzuki.
Crazy hair guy, yay!
Well, he had to cut all that off, but he still had the flames are back, but now he doesn't have the spiky back.
Deadly, dainty shoes of death.
I'm not telling him about his shoes. He can wear whatever he wants.
I will yell from a distance that his shoes are dainty, and if he comes over asking who said it, I will blame it on Jay and or Alan, whoever is closer to me.
We will run, but
you and I will run. Yes,
he will catch us though. You know this.
Not if we feed Alan and Jay to him.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, in any case, Minoru Suzuki.
But again, Suzuki doesn't want to be fed. Suzuki wants to hunt.
This is very true. Well, he hunted, son. And he tortured Hiroshi Tanahashi basically to death and took his Intercontinental Championship. So Minoru Suzuki is your new Intercontinental Champion.
Yay!
The match was great. And then, after about 15 minutes of a great match, then he put on a submission hold on Tanahashi's leg, which he did not release and only served to put more and more pressure and contortion on for, I swear to God, another 15 minutes. Half the match was just him putting Tanahashi in a leg bar and working the crap out of his knee. Tanahashi's foot was going backwards at one point, I swear to you. It was brutal.
As painful as that sounds, it also sounds kind of boring.
It wasn't.
Okay.
I'll
take your word for it.
They sold it to death. Tanahashi looked like he was dying. Red Shoes, our favorite referee, the best referee in all of professional sports, is pleading with Tanahashi to give up. Pleading with him to give up because he knows that Suzuki is killing him in the ring. Tanahashi would refuse to give up. Every time he'd grab the rope, he'd get the break. Suzuki would drag him back in, put the hold right back on. Just kept on him. Would not stop. Red Shoes finally pleading with him, Tanahashi to give up. Tanahashi will not give up. Red Shoes finally calls the match and awards Suzuki the belt.
Wow.
So you've got intrigue. So you've got Tanahashi had to go away for a little while. He never really quit. and the referee called it as a mercy. So there's a lot of intrigue around how the result went down.
Okay.
And now Suzuki is your Intercontinental Champion. And he is rubbing it in badly. His post-press conference was incredible. He sits down like a boss, because he is a boss, and puts a title belt in front of him. And the reporters are, asking, they don't ask many questions. I forgot what happened. Like, how does it feel to be the champion or whatever? He takes a beer, because they have Coors Light cans on the table, because they're kind of sponsored by Coors Light. He takes the Coors Light can, shakes it up, puts it down in front of the title, and pops it open, and it spills all over the place. And he goes, "That's how I feel." He goes, "How do I feel? You don't congratulate me first. The first thing you ask is how I feel. I know you hate this." He went off. Like, "I know you hate me as champion." But it was awesome. It was so awesome. That man is terrifying, and I love him. So that happened.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. Now we got to run the gamut of emotions here.
Okay.
Kenny Omega defended his United States Championship against Jay White, Switchblade Jay White, the kind of Kenny Omega cosplayer sort of guy.
All right. Yay, Kenny.
Well.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so Kenny, in a previous match, Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks injured his back in his match. So he didn't come out with Kenny to the ring. Only Nick was out with him.
Okay.
Kenny and Jay put on a amazing performance.
Like they do.
Great match. I wasn't sold on Jay White until this match. Jay White's great. Jay White shocked the world.
No!
And beat Kenny Omega for the United States Championship.
Dang it.
Kenny's distraught. Hangman Page, member of the Bullet Club, comes out, and as is the tradition in New Japan, when the title changes hands, someone answers a challenge. So Hangman Page came out to challenge Jay White right there for the U.S. title. Kenny gets up, grabs the belt from Jay White, puts his hand on Page, tells him to back off, and begrudgingly hands the title back to Jay White. So Kenny kind of, air quoting, stole Page's moment, even though,
Gotcha.
All right. Well, this brings out Cody.
Cody Rhodes.
Yes. And there's been
there's
been some tension in the Bullet Club here. And the villain, Marty Scurll, as well. And Matt Jackson as well. And Matt and Nick are trying to console Kenny. Kenny doesn't want to be consoled. Cody's yelling at him. Cody's insisting that he stole Page's moment. There's heat between Kenny and Cody. Kenny's frustrated. In a heat of passion, someone, Matt's behind him trying to tell him, "Hey man, it's okay. Let's get out of here." Yeah. Kenny turns around blindly and pushes Matt down, who injured his back. Right.
That's me.
So Nick was distraught that his brother was sent to the mat. Matt and Nick leave Kenny to fend for himself.
Okay.
Cody backs off Marty Scurll and Page, tells them all to go to the back. It's just Kenny and Cody out there. Well, they talk, they're yammering on. They shake hands. Bullet Club truce, right?
Yep. No.
Kenny's exiting the ring. Cody blindsides him, gives him the crossroads, and is about to destroy him with a steel chair.
Crossroads. Clever.
Yeah, got the like that. But who should come to the rescue?
I don't know.
Kota Ibushi.
Ooh.
Former tag team partner of Kenny Omega from many years ago. They have avoided each other for many, many, many years now. But there's always the will they or won't they reunite story kind of threading around.
So they're the Sam and Diane of NJPW.
Kind of. They were, well, their tag team name was the Golden Lovers. So read into that what you will.
No, I don't think I will. Please continue.
So Kota saves Kenny Omega. And he offers him his hand. And Kenny's still distraught. He's basically Bullet Club at this point, but doesn't look like he does not look long for Bullet Club anymore. And he was their leader. Might still be. It's a little unclear right now what's happening.
Okay.
Kenny doesn't want to shake Kota's hand. Kota is pleading with him. He's holding out his hand to him. Shake my hand or whatever. I swear to God, there's a moment, and they got it in slow-mo. Kota is looking down at Kenny and offering his hand to him. Kota rolls a tear, and it drips off his face. You can see it clear as day. Oh, my God. It was incredible. Finally, Kota turns around. Kenny gets up, grabs him by the shoulder, and they hug. Confetti goes off in the building.
Well, gotta have that stuff on hand just in case.
They're back. Golden Lovers are back. Kenny and his life mate are back.
Great.
It's pretty awesome.
All
so
right.
then on Being the Elite, the TV show, the YouTube show, I should say, that the Young Bucks make. Then it's post-match. It's a show, which is great.
Yeah.
It's kind of how where angles kind of happen internally with the Bullet Club, which is brilliant on their part. Kenny is distraught, walking through his hotel room. He goes to a hotel room door. 710 is the number. It's going to come into play in a second. He knocks on the door. Door opens. Matt and Nick Jansen are in the hotel room.
Okay.
Kenny's standing there looking at them. They look at him. There's tension. Who should sidestep enter the frame next to Kenny but Kota Ibushi? And the episode ends with Kota and Kenny walking into the Young Bucks hotel room and the door closing. What does it mean? What did I say that room number was?
710. Oh, excuse me.
In bowling terms, what is 710?
It's a split.
Bullet Club is splitting. In theory, anyway. It's unclear, but Bullet Club's going to split, I think. And the Elite, Kenny and the Bucks, are going to take on Kota Ibushi. They're going to become the Golden Elite, and they're going to take on Cody and the Bullet Club. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
Okay.
A lot of emotion there.
Gotcha.
I was marking out fiercely Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, the Royal Rumble. The bet. We have a bet. Oh, it was glorious. There was a Women's Rumble for the first time ever.
How did that go?
Pretty well. Women's Rumble was great. Better than it should have been. I give it a B. For the first one ever, I mean, it could have been better, but it was pretty solid. There were some fun spots in it, some welcome comebacks. And Asuka won. Asuka remains undefeated in WWE, including NXT.
Now, with the Rumble, they always bring back like one or two.
Well, there was like 10 or 12 older wrestlers that they brought back in for the women.
Really?
Maybe that's exaggerating, but Lita, Trish, Beth Phoenix, Molly Holly. I'm probably forgetting some, but they all were entrants into the Women's Royal Rumble.
Huh.
So it was pretty cool. So Asuka wins the Women's Rumble. Ronda Rousey got introduced, and that's all kind of going on.
I saw that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I saw because, of course, ESPN was covering it.
Sure. She's a name.
All right. So she walks in wearing a T-shirt that has Ronda Rousey, her name on it.
Yes.
But the T-shirt is in the classic design of Rowdy Piper.
Yes, sir.
The white T-shirt with
That's correct.
the red rings and the lightning bolt lettering.
Yep.
She hasn't earned that.
Well, she used the name Rowdy Ronda Rousey while she was in UFC, and she had Roddy and the family's blessing to do that. And the black coat that she was wearing when she came out at the Rumble,
Okay.
Roddy's son gave to her to wear out that right before she went out there.
So it was Roddy's old coat.
Yes, that was Roddy. It was Roddy by God Piper's jacket.
That kind of explains why it was 3 sizes too big.
Yes, it does. So she has the blessing to that's her thing.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So she wasn't in like an actual
She was not
match.
in the Rumble.
Okay.
She did steal Asuka's moment, though. Asuka has the option as the winner of the Rumble to choose which champion she will face at WrestleMania. There's
Okay.
SmackDown and Raw, so SmackDown would be Charlotte Flair, and Raw would be Alexa Bliss. Well, before Asuka can make her decision, Ronda Rousey came out and interrupted her and pointed at the sign. They all point at the sign. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so we don't know.
I saw a video that the crowd didn't really seem to pop for that.
They were tired. Because here's the thing. The Women's Rumble closed the show.
Really?
Because they wanted that Rousey moment to close the show.
Okay.
But the crowd was pretty tired by that point because, we'll get to that in a moment, the men's Rumble.
Well, big ups to WWE for closing their show with the women's.
They have data. Well, again, the Rousey factor is a big determining factor. They want that press. They want that. They want everyone looking at them with open eyes and open wallets, ideally, when the TV contract comes out.
Gotcha.
So anyway, she stole Asuka's moment. We don't know which champion Asuka's going to face yet. And it's kind of unclear what Rousey's doing either. She just kind of came out and pointed and didn't really issue a challenge of any sort. She just kind of came out and pointed. So I don't know what's really happening with that, but it got eyes on the product. So yay, I guess. But whatever. That is what it is. The men's Rumble. The men's Rumble.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here's the thing. These have been really bad for the last few years, okay?
Okay.
Like, Vince trolling the audience bad.
Okay.
For several years now. So I go into Rumbles now kind of with that feeling of dread, like, who's Vince going to shove down our throats this year that everyone hates, but he loves, and they're going to boo the crap out of the ending of the Rumble?
Well, Vince is kind of busy with another project right now.
I don't even want to talk about that right now. Because never mind. So, the match itself, I have to say, was one of the most fun Rumbles in a while. A lot of good spots, good pace of guys coming out, and like the order was interesting.
Yeah.
There were fun moments, fun spots.
Any surprise visitors?
No one. Well, Rey Mysterio showed up looking great because there's no drug testing in Lucha Underground, sir. So Rey was looking fantastic.
Does this mean Rey is no longer in Lucha Underground?
Lucha's not really filming yet for season 4, so it remains to be seen what's going to happen with that. So he was a special entrant. To be honest, I don't think they really had many other surprise entrants. It was a pretty current lineup that they brought out for the Rumble this year. I can't believe this happened.
Okay.
I'm stunned. I'm shocked.
Would you say you're stone cold stunned?
No, that don't tease me, sir. what I would give for another Stone Cold run. I'm shocked, but I'm delighted.
Oh.
Shinsuke Nakamura won the Royal Rumble and is going to WrestleMania for the title. And he laid out his challenge to AJ Styles, the WWE champion.
Okay.
By lineage, AJ is the champion. The Universal title is Raw's title. That's a new one. That's made up.
Yeah.
AJ, by all rights, is the WWE champion.
Huh.
Oh, boy. Carl, I've seen this match before. A couple years ago in NJPW.
Yeah.
If they are motivated, they're going to tear the house down. Again.
So, in other words...
Kids, go on your Google machine, go to YouTube, and I think NJPW has it up for free, actually. Just Google Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, Wrestle Kingdom 10. Sit down, get some popcorn, and watch the show. That's what you have. That's what we have to look forward to at Mania this year.
So, in other words, as pertaining to WWE, I would assume your stance right now is, to quote Godfather Part 3, every time you think you're out, pull you back in.
Well, let's look at the graphic, shall we? That we posted, that we shared. There's that cycle where I get my hopes up, they disappoint me. So I'm not sure where on that cycle I am right now, but I think I'm in the getting my hopes up portion. I know I shouldn't. Easy there, guy. I'm about done, so I'm going to let you take over in a moment, so get all that out.
If I can, yeah.
Sorry for monopolizing the conversation, folks, but it was a very, very fun wrestling weekend. Good friend Steve Bajak won his first Royal Rumble bet on top of that with Shinsuke Nakamura. Should have been me, just saying. If anyone should have won, that it should have been me, but the ping pong balls did not go my way, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
So, Shinsuke Nakamura is going to WrestleMania.
It's pretty awesome.
I can't believe it. Then NXT. I'm just gonna, because there's so much to cover. Takeover, as takeovers usually are. NXT Takeover. I watched it before Raw yesterday, and Takeover was fantastic, as they usually are. Matches of the night: Aleister Black and Adam Cole in an Extreme Rules match. excellent. Those guys are both of those guys are incredible. And for the NXT Championship, Cien Almas, champion, defending against Johnny Gargano. They put on a classic. A classic. It was a 5-star baller match.
Nice.
Excellent match. Star-making match for both of those guys. Just so I was delighted. So pro wrestling has been my joy this weekend. And I got some new records too.
Yay.
Yeah, I got some new records that sound fantastic. The Gojira from Mars to Sirius record, which is my favorite Gojira album on vinyl, sounds dope. And the new Machine Head record, Catharsis, which is so controversial right now because metalheads have, the tolerance of a gnat. And it's great too. So fight me on that.
Come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro. Don't at me. Come at me. Yeah, that's it. I'm done.
Right.
I'm done with my monologue now.
Okay.
You can talk now. How was your week?
1 hour later. My week was okay. As you can hear, still recovering from a cold that, in the grand scheme of colds, was not that bad, but it was all focused on the throat.
I've been there.
So, yeah.
You sound better, except for the hacking death cough that just occurred.
Yeah, it happens. I've been living on throat coat tea and cough drops and whatnot, and so yeah, good stuff there. See, trying to think. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I had off because Julie was out of town, so I spent some quality time with my son William. That was a lot of fun. Friday we did not do game night.
No, sorry about that.
You guys were just like...
My weekend was very jam-packed, and I just needed Friday to kind of brace myself for what was to come.
I get it. You didn't want to be around me.
That's exactly what it was.
But Mr. Alan Waiters was gracious enough to come over to my place and bring his brand new copy of Dragon Ball Fighter Z, of which I just got my copy today in the mail. Hey, Amazon, time to reevaluate what you consider 2-day shipping. And we played for about an hour or so.
So what's the verdict?
Fantastic.
Wow.
So much fun. Insanely fun. Like, I've been playing Street Fighter Arcade Edition for the past couple weeks, and that's great.
Mm-hmm.
This is just, because it's so different, like, I instantly want to get into learning this game and getting good at it. I'm probably going to enter the tournament. Because our pop bonus that we are sponsoring for the fighting game tournament upcoming, again, on February 10th here at GameOn LAN, our pop bonus is actually going towards Dragon Ball Z. Because I'd asked Brian, I was like, he asked me, what game do you want the pop bonus to go towards? I'm like, I think thematically for our show, Marvel versus Capcom would probably be the game it goes towards.
Yeah.
But I'll defer to you because you're the organizer, you have the most experience with this. Wherever you feel it can do the most good, go ahead and put it there. He decided to put it on Dragon Ball because Dragon Ball is the new hotness. And it's going to have a lot of players, and Marvel's kind of dead.
Yeah, I got that impression.
Especially, at least in this area, Marvel's kind of dead.
Not for nothing, but based on your reaction to it, the build-up before its release and all that, I feel like it was dead on arrival.
You can, if you're a member of the Best Buy Game Club, whatnot, you can go get a brand new copy of Best Buy right now for $16.
Ooh.
If you're not a member of the Game Club, it's $20.
Still?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
This game is less than 6 months old.
The mouse can't be happy about that. I wouldn't imagine.
No. So, yeah. So we played that for a little bit. Crazy fun. Saturday was an X-Wing tournament.
Man.
Dead last.
Well,
here's the problem.
Was it close?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Here's the problem. I didn't put a lot of thought in my build. I just kind of like grabbed a build from my list and went with it. Because when you're, hats off to single parents. Because when you're the only one taking care of a kid, there's a lot more work needs to be done. So if you're a single parent out there, good on you.
Big ups.
Yeah, big ups. So, but it's not saying my list was necessarily bad. I got a buy the first round because there was not a number of players. And then for my next 2 matches, I had a 2-ship list. I ran up against 2 4-ship lists. And it just like, dice weren't working out for me. A couple mistakes here and there. It just didn't go well.
I'm sorry.
Had fun. It was a good tournament, but yeah, it just no. So
you're going to rebuild?
Oh yeah.
All right.
We rebuild. We go back again. We get stronger.
We learn from our mistakes.
Yes, and then
Yoda told us that.
Sunday, Julie and I continued on the road to Infinity War with Thor.
Thor. How does the first Thor hold up?
Very well.
Does it now?
Because, especially in comparison to the movies that were out at the time, it's so different. Like, you have Iron Man, you have the Hulk, which take place in, like, modern day. And
Thor was a departure, for sure.
Yeah, Thor, yes, it does take place in modern day, and there is some stuff that takes place on Earth. But you know what? The action is good. The humor in the first Thor is just right. And Loki is a villain, an actual villain.
Yeah.
Which is nice compared to like kind of where they went with him later on.
He's developed. He's had a change of heart. He's changed over time. He's an anti-hero now. Kind of.
But no, it holds up very, very well. This week, Captain America, First Avenger.
Okay. I'm curious how that one holds up.
I'm sure it's going to be great. See? So, that was what in comparison to yours is a Cliff Notes.
I do have one more note.
Oh, Jeebus.
I was so excited I forgot, and it's kind of a big deal. So, in all of my NJPW excitement, you are aware that we might not be aware. I'm going to tell you right now. March 25th, they are doing their second ever United States show in Long Beach, California. Los Angeles, baby.
Yep.
I will be in attendance at said show.
Really?
And I will not be alone.
Who's going with you?
Mr. J. Gelsomino.
Oh, boy.
We got very lucky. I had 4 browser windows going on the ticket site at the time they went on sale. They were all put me in the virtual queue. I was in virtual queue for 9.5 minutes, and I swore I was texting Jay, dude. There's no way. It's got to be sold out. This thing's we're getting killed here. But there was a way. 2 tickets.
Life found a way.
Life found a way. So we have 2 tickets. A
lot of Jurassic Park references in this.
I know, it's weird. 2 tickets on the floor. NJPW, Strong Style Evolved, March 25th, Long Beach, California. Oh my God. I'm amped up for this.
Now, is it just you and Jay going on this? Or
the wife's going with me too. Nope, just Jay and then me and the wife. So, we're going to make a little weekend out of it. We're going to shoot up late Thursday night. We're going to spend Friday, Saturday, Sunday in LA. The show is on Sunday, so we're going to bop around a bit and do some LA stuff. My LA experience last time I was there was kind of but there was a lot of stuff I did not do. So I'm gonna try and rectify that and have a better time in LA this time. And then Jen and I are mulling over right now extending the trip. Jay's welcome to fly home, obviously, after he's got to return to work, whereas we are a little more flexible with our time off, fortunately. And I think we're going to shoot up to Seattle to see my friends and some family up there.
Cool.
So that's kind of what's going on. I forgot about it, but it's important because it's Jay and I will be doing some on-site scout reporting for NJPW for all of you dear listeners who probably don't care at all.
All right. Well,
email the show and complain about all this wrestling talk at...
Dear listeners, if you would like to tell us about your weeks in preferably a much shorter way that Drew did. If you'd like to send us any questions or comments to the show, you can find us at the following social media locations. You can find us at Devils Do Pod on Twitter. You can go to facebook.com/DevilsDoPod. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources available to you on our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. That being said, Drew, we've got some listener questions.
Bring it on.
First up, coming from friend of the show, Mr. Tom Fenzel.
Yay.
Hello, guys. It's been a while.
It's been where?
Comments from the Star Wars episode. In the old canon, we were able to see Force Ghosts do a lot. Some video games, we saw them use all Force powers you could think of. Also in books, a Force Ghost at Yavin was able to turn one of Luke's students to the dark side. I love the scene in The Last Jedi with Yoda because you see that Luke was upset that the books were destroyed. Luke wasn't ready to let go at that time. Since July, every night I've been playing Mario Kart on Switch with my son, who is 3 years old. Somewhere between 2 and 4 races a night before we read books. Drew.
Uh-oh.
What is your favorite Mario Kart track on Switch or any system?
There are a lot. That's a lot. That's the Switch is jam-packed with courses. So many. The most of any Mario Kart ever. My favorite Mario Kart course. I'm a big fan just because I can't believe it's included. It's not, a Mario Kart course per se, but it is a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Switch, and that would be Big Blue, which is an F-Zero course that they revamped and made super amazing in Mario Kart. And they redid the song, too, and it sounds awesome, and I'm just a sucker for F-Zero, so right now I'd have to say Big Blue. I was also a big fan of, in the old ones, DK's Jungle, and the one with the giant spinning Yoshi egg. I think they were both on N64.
Okay.
Fond memories.
Carl, did you pick up Mario Kart? I did not. To date, the only game I have for my Switch is Mario Odyssey. After I finished Odyssey, was just in time for Street Fighter Arcade Edition to come out, and as I mentioned previously, Dragon Ball Z Fighters is waiting for me at home, so that's going to take up some time, video game time for the foreseeable future.
Carl be fighting.
Yep. What is your favorite tracks on any system? Switch? Maybe there should be an online tournament for the Devil's Due fans.
Hey now.
You're the one with the game and can set that up. Or, here we are at GameOn LAN. Maybe we can sponsor a Devil's Due Mario Kart tournament night.
Hey.
Drew just got happy.
We can if y'all think that's a good idea, let us know. We'll get talking.
Yep. Ant-Man and Wasp trailer looks amazing. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Thanks, Tom Fenzel.
You will hear the thoughts.
Yes, that is upcoming. Tom, thank you very much for your email. Now on to your soon-to-be traveling partner, Mr. J. Gelsomino. Carl and Drew. In the light of the trailer for Deep Blue Sea 2, did you watch it?
No,
oh, God.
I'm sorry I didn't. I forgot about it. When you said it to me, I was busy. I didn't get back to it. I'm sorry.
It's so direct-to-video. It's so amazingly direct-to-video.
Shouldn't it be, though?
Yes.
Okay. So they nailed it.
Yep.
Okay.
What is your favorite animal-based sequel? Jaws 2, Jaws 3D, Jaws the Revenge, Teen Wolf 2, Air Bud Golden Receiver, or Look Who's Talking Now?
Oh, those are all terrible movies.
Sir, bite your tongue. Jaws 3D, Teen Wolf 2, shunned unnecessarily at the Oscars for those years.
Oh my God! You know what happened to me on Friday? Teen Wolf 2. I was at 12 Gates for lunch, and I'm sitting there, and they have the 80s station on, and the song came on, the "Send Me an Angel."
Okay.
Send me an angel, and I haven't heard that song, and I swear to you, 25 years, maybe more.
I think your band should cover it.
No, we're not doing that. And I did not know where the hell I knew it from, but I remembered it. I'm like, oh my God, what movie is this from? That's all I could think. What movie is this? Is it The Lost Boys?
It's probably used in a couple movies.
So it was driving me insane. Google's my friend here. Teen Wolf 2.
TOO.
Yeah. Also the reason why I just will never take Justin Bateman seriously as an actor.
Or Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman, whatever his name is. That guy.
Really? That one movie, like, you're not going to pay attention to
It's like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, man. Dead to me.
That's sad because you're missing out on some great stuff.
I'm pretty sure I'm not. But
that would be
anyway.
like me judging The Long Cold Dark on a demo you did before you ever put out an album.
We have great demos. We really do. Anyway, sometimes better than the record. Teen Wolf 2 for me, as I crap on Jason Bateman, Justin Bateman, whatever his name is.
I'm gonna say
because I like Chubbs. That's why Chubby's funny, so he gets the nod.
You're not a Styles guy.
I like the original Styles. They replaced him in 2.
Did they?
Yeah, different actor. He wasn't as good, but he did mulletify by like 90%, which was pretty glorious.
Like, was the original actor really doing something else?
No, I just liked him more.
All right.
It was more fun, and he had that shirt that we can't say on the air, but I always wanted one.
Okay, so obviously we covered this, but his question to you, Drew, who's got 4 thumbs and is going to New Japan? New Japan Long Beach show, Strong Style Evolved.
These guys. And that by these guys mean me and Jay.
Okay. All right, Carl.
Hey, we're going.
What is the one childhood toy that got away?
Ooh.
None of them.
Carl cast a wide net.
All.
He got them all. There's no escape.
One childhood toy. You know what? No, there is one. Fortress Maximus. Towards the end of like the original Transformers G1 line, they had like Target Masters and Headmasters and things like that. Fortress Maximus was, I think, like a 3-foot tall transformer.
Yep.
He was a headmaster whose head transformed into another robot, who that robot's head in turn transformed into another robot.
Inception.
Yeah, it's crazy. But he's just like massively huge. He is the Transformers version of the USS Flag, I think. I think he's the biggest production transformer ever made.
Did they, at the time of its release, did they make a Unicron toy?
There was not any that were available over here.
Okay.
I think there were some in Japan, but they were not as big as Fortress Maximus.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
They've made Unicron toys since, but still not as big.
I don't think anybody makes toys that big anymore.
No. Well,
the 80s were a weird time, man. They were just seeing what they can get away with.
I was at Toys R Us recently, and there's still some stuff out there.
That big, though?
Yeah.
Come on.
Dude, there was, what was it? Okay, so you ever have a kid, one of the really cool things that when your kid becomes like, kind of the 3-4-year-old age, you don't want them quite playing with action figures yet, but you kind of want to kind of start them to, if it, what have you.
You got to set them on the path at some point.
Imaginext. They're like these kind of like, think of like play school basic action figures and whatnot, and they've got like the DC license and the Star Wars license.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of stuff. They came out with, now granted, the source material is not cool, but the toy itself seemed pretty cool. Do you remember the unfortunate experiment that was Jim Gordon as Batman?
Yeah. I do. And the bunny suit.
The Robo Bat Bunny suit.
The bunny suit, yeah.
They came out with the Robo Bat Bunny suit that was 3 feet tall and had giant massive arms that the kid could operate and punch and whatnot. And you put the small little Batman figure in it as the pilot. So basically they just gave Batman a giant mecha. And as a toy, if you tried to show me this in like a comic or a movie or something, I'd say it's stupid. As a toy, it's pretty cool.
So what you're saying is the tail is clearly wagging the dog over at DC. And they came up with the toy and they said, Scott, can you figure out a reason to put this in the comic? And he's like, not really. And they said, well, you're gonna. Oh.
No, this just came out this year.
Okay. All right. All right, I'll allow it.
So
I don't like it, but I'll allow it.
Yep. But yeah, Fortress Maximus for me would be the toy that got away.
All right. Shocked.
All right.
Figured you had 2 of them.
What?
I figured you had 2 of them.
Well, probably should have.
Okay.
So that brings a close the cross-examination, and that will bring us to our case files, news of the week. We got some stuff to go over. Where do we want to start here? Well, I mean, let's start with the one that happened today.
Marvel was kind to us today.
Marvel was kind to us today. I
can't believe it, actually.
We got Marvel Studios is always kind to us. Marvel comic books. Oh, you're talking about like us, the show here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's valid. They actually were nice enough.
They timed this nice for us.
They gave
You know
us
what happened?
What?
I think, was it last week or the week before where you openly like chastised them? They heard.
It's possible.
And they did us a solid here.
It's possible.
Marvel, forgiven.
Well, let's we got another news story in here.
Maybe
You might
not
want
forgiven.
might want to pause.
Okay. Well, let's start with the. Where do you want to start?
Yeah,
with
we'll start with the good.
Okay.
The new the first full trailer for Ant-Man and Wasp was released today.
Sure
Ant-Man
was.
and the Wasp.
It was.
And surprise, surprise, it looks awesome.
It does actually. I have one complaint I want to get out of the way before we fawn over the trailer.
Okay.
Where was Luis?
I'm sure he's
got to be in there.
Yeah,
he was.
You don't put out the great stuff in the first trailer.
Okay, all right. As long as he's in there and he's telling stories, because that was great. All right.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and Wasp looks super fun. Lots of shrinky, growy size antics.
Yes.
And now with 100% more Evangeline Lilly in the Wasp suit, running on knives in midair.
Yeah.
Okay. Throwing Hello Kitty Pez dispensers out of cars.
And then making them grow.
And then embiggening them. Yeah, it looks super fun. The shrinky, growy stuff obviously is all played, the sight gags, but in really creative ways. So like when they make their van really small and then drive under another van and then make it really big and it flips the van over, that's clever.
When they turn a building into a carry-away suitcase.
I hope no one was in that building.
Well, you have to figure the PIM particles would shrink everything that was in the building.
I hope they can revert them.
I'm sure they can.
Okay. That was pretty wild, man. And then I gotta say, ever since Civil War, the sight of Scott as Giant Man, it for some reason just irrationally makes me giggle every time in a good way. It's such a cool visual.
Awesome. Yeah. We get Lawrence Fishburne as Goliath.
Is that confirmed? He's Bill Foster?
Yeah.
All right.
So
I hope he fares better in this than he has in the comics in recent years.
Yeah. Got a hole blown through him in Civil War by an evil Thor clone.
Thanks, Reed.
Yep. That's what's no, that was Tony Stark who
he was there too.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks great. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. I kinda like Ant-Man as ending the phase as opposed to Avengers.
Well,
it's a nice little, season at the end of it.
Well, let me ask you this. Seeing as the movie comes out a little bit after Infinity War,
yes,
yet takes place before Infinity War, do you think that they're kind of giving us this as our last taste for a little while to soften the blow that might come in Infinity War?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I've actually got some other friends who are doing the Road to Infinity War, one Marvel movie a week thing.
Yeah.
And
easy.
Excuse me. And they're doing it slightly differently. They're not going in order of films that are released. They're actually doing them in chronological order of the films.
I see.
So they started
That's risky, but okay.
They started with Captain America.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with this. I mean,
it's the Star Wars prequel.
It's not, they want to do, so it's fine. I personally don't agree with it because I think there's such thing as narrative intent.
Yes, I totally agree.
So
there are knowns and unknowns at the time these movies are released.
Because I think, in this example, if you start with Captain America and the scene in the end where Nick Fury shows up,
who is he?
Yeah, A, who is he? B is so much less impactful than Nick Fury showing up at the end of the first Iron Man.
Right.
That's the big bang of the Marvel Cinematic Universe right there.
I feel you.
But again, it's the way they're seen all the movies before and they just want to do it this fun way, so that's fine. So yeah, I think Marvel knows what they're doing.
They do.
There's narrative intent, and they know what they're doing.
Okay.
So, going show relevant, we got some news this week on Daredevil Season 3.
We did.
Yes, we have Matt's mother has been cast. And it is Joanne Whalley.
Who we know from?
We know her from Willow.
Ah.
She was the daughter of the sorceress, the evil sorceress.
Yes. She was basically the female lead of the film.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she will play Matt Murdock's mother in Daredevil Season 3.
So it looks more and more like they may or may not be doing essentially a born-again riff.
I think
here.
that'd be really cool if they did.
Seems that way. All the cast is really kind of there. Although they're going to have to possibly remove, I should say, the ending portion where Thor and Cap show up and all that. But we can nip and tuck here. So
yeah, I think that's a good cast. I look forward to seeing that.
Anytime you give me more Daredevil, I'm happy.
We got our first look. Speaking of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we got our first look this week at Brie Larson as Captain Marvel.
We did.
And as you want to say, my compatriots in the podcast, fans gonna fan.
Oh? Fans fanning?
Yeah.
Perish the thought.
People were freaking out over the color of her costume.
Go on.
Because the costume, which seems, as a lot of Marvel Cinematic Universe costumes, seems to be right off the comic book page. With the exception that Captain Marvel's traditional costume in the comics is very dark blue and red.
Yes.
Whereas this one was very dark blue and green.
Yes.
Drew, why could it possibly be green?
I'm going to venture a guess that, one, it's a wink and a nod to the original Captain Marvel pre-Carol Danvers costume, which was predominantly green.
Green and white.
And in tying in with her origin, she has been in space since the 1980s or 90s, I believe, and is what they're going with here in the new Marvel's MCU continuity. And her origin is tied in with the Kree, and they are notoriously blue people, as we know.
Yes. They're doing the Kree. They've done the Kree, and they're currently doing the Kree full on in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
There you go. And I think they are also quite fond themselves of the color green in their uniforms.
Yep.
So I'm going to venture a guess that she's been in space with the Kree, and she's wearing some manner of Kree-esque uniform.
Wasn't Ronan the Accuser a Kree?
He was, I think. Okay. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but he was blue, and he was very angry. Yeah, that's my guess. And I'm also willing to bet that that's not the only costume she's going to have in the film.
Yeah.
Though it might be, and that's okay. It could be a matter of Marvel looking at their Avenger lineup and going, Iron Man's predominantly red and yellow. Cap is predominantly blue and red. Spider-Man is predominantly blue and red. Doctor Strange is predominantly blue and red. Maybe we gotta diversify this palette a little bit.
Throw some Moon Knight in there or something.
Wow. So I'm okay with
Black Panther.
I'm fine with it. It'll be okay. Oh, Black Panther's gonna be. Yeah, bring it on. My hype level is pretty high.
I don't think people are ready for what Black Panther's going to be.
We're going to find out.
So,
but I'm okay with Captain Marvel's costume. It's fine. Relax. It's fine.
I've got people in my Facebook feed who are saying I need to find a dress for the Black Panther premiere.
We're going formal.
Yeah.
Wow.
And these are people of African American heritage.
Yeah.
This thing's going to be incredible.
It's going to be an event.
I cannot wait.
It's exciting.
We got our tickets.
Yes, we do.
So, Drew, something I honestly didn't think was going to happen has happened. Whether or not it completes happening is a completely different ballgame altogether. But the Shazam movie has officially, legitimately started production.
In Toronto, I believe.
Sure.
We should take a little drive and go see if it's, happening.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Never mind. We could not do that too. Yeah. Apparently it's for real.
I still have a hard time calling him Shazam.
Question.
Yes.
His name now is formally Shazam, right?
Yes.
How does Billy Batson transform into Shazam?
Still speaks the name.
How does he transform back?
Still probably speaks a name.
So he could never say his own name.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Shazam. Oh, crap.
I think, to kind of, geek explain it away, there's probably...
Call me Mr. S.
It's magic. So the magic forces probably have to... There's an intent when he says the name. I don't know. It's not... It's magic. Dude.
It's a reach, but...
It's magic.
We'll allow it. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so, Drew.
Rumor has it Superman's going to be in that movie. I don't think he is.
Yeah. Depends on what they have to digitally remove from Henry Cavill this time.
That went so well the first time. Yeah.
When we started this and you got all excited about Marvel being good to us.
Oh.
I said to hold off on that.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we're at that moment.
Okay.
Drew, there's a new Ghost Rider.
Oh.
In the Marvel Universe.
It's not Robbie Reyes this time.
It's not Robbie Reyes.
And he's in space.
It's not, well,
he's Cosmic Ghost Rider.
It's not Johnny Blaze, and it's not Dan Ketch.
Well,
he's in space. He's a cosmic Ghost Rider, and I guess he's quippy and funny.
So it's Peter Quill?
No.
Oh.
It's apparently Frank Castle.
I'm gonna go ahead and just pretend you didn't say anything. And
I said Frank Castle.
My life's gonna go on from here, completely blissfully unaware or uncaring about that news, just like it was before I found that out. Because whatever.
Now,
whatever.
Based on how the Ghost Rider mythos works.
Yeah.
Johnny Blaze was not the first Ghost Rider. He was not the last Ghost Rider.
No.
There are numerous beings who have been Ghost Rider throughout the generations. If you were to tell me that you were going to do a series where Frank Castle becomes the Ghost Rider, I would be like, okay, you've got me a little bit intrigued, because the person of who Frank Castle is, couple that with the spirit of vengeance.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go along with that for like a limited series run or a single arc or something. That could be fun. We introduces cosmic, he's quippy.
Can I posit this at you? I don't know this. I'm not following this series at all, so I could be completely off base. Is it possible that whoever that person is, and he introduces himself as Frank Castle, that he's lying and he's just joking, and they're going to reveal in the next issue that it was all a little ruse?
One can hope. One can hope.
I'm good here. I got issue 5 of Punisher Platoon this week by Garth Ennis.
Yeah,
where he's a nom. I'm good. I'm all good there.
Did you get new Doomsday Clock?
I did.
Did you read it?
I did.
What'd you think?
Oh boy. Well,
or are you kind of in a still wait and see where it goes?
I'm waiting to see. It's I get why people might want to get upset about it. I've gotten myself into a place where I'm honestly like, you know what? Watchmen is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
If you take it as it is, as its original intent, remember you said about
intent.
Then it's untouched and unblemished, and it's just as good and relevant and and tightly wound and perfect, basically perfect as it was before. Based on the events in Doomsday Clock number 3, I mean, it could be a matter where based on where it could go, one of two things happen. Either one, the events are one of three things maybe. The events are completely nullified, which seems unlikely.
Yeah.
Number 2. Said event that now looks like it did not take place. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to be spoiler free here. Well, perhaps at the conclusion of Doomsday Clock, we reintroduce said character to said moment, and everything goes on as it did before. But if you have a Doomsday Clock, there's that lingering knowledge now of what happened in between panels, which is kind of Or it's a whole new, air quotes, universe now. That at that moment, hey man, it's fractal realities, man. All possibilities are possible at all times in some universe. So it's whatever. I don't know. show me the story.
Yeah.
I will judge it on its own merits. I'm not that upset about it. Let's see where it goes.
All right.
But I will say this. That first issue of Doomsday Clock really intrigued me because it was basically a complete self-contained sequel issue of Watchmen.
Yep.
Now that they've kind of come to Gotham and the DCU, I find my interest waning a little. Like I'm not quite as the luster is kind of lost now on me.
Do you think there's a point where you might say, you know what, I'm just going to wait for the trade?
No, I'll keep buying it, and again, see where it goes. It's fine. I'm just letting you know, like, that first issue was really strong. I thought anyway, and it followed up the events in a logical path from the original, and it hooked me. And then the further we get away from that hook, now that spoilers, the Watchmen world is probably over. Based on the first issue, we're in DC land now, and the characters are rubbing up against each other, and it's not. I don't know. It doesn't feel quite the same to me as that first issue did. But,
okay,
but that's me, and it could turn on a dime for all we know.
Yep. Alrighty. That pretty much does it for the news, unless there's something else you can think of.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Okay. Ant-Man comes out after Infinity War, right?
Yes.
We have seen a trailer for Infinity War.
Yes.
We've seen a trailer for Ant-Man.
I think I know what your question is.
Infinity War is in May. Is that right?
Yep.
Ant-Man's what, June, July?
I think so.
I missed it. I watched the trailer and I didn't even care. Like, I'm going to see it. I don't care when it comes out.
Yeah.
You know what we haven't seen a trailer for?
Han Solo?
Bingo.
Yeah.
That's a bingo.
Yeah.
It comes up before both of those movies.
Yep.
Hi. What's up? Star Wars? You gonna show us something? Or I'm not mad. I'm just asking questions.
Your question is valid. Your concern is valid. My answer personally for me would simply say this. As my friend Adam is fond of saying, trust the process.
I am.
Trust that Disney...
This is not Disney's first rodeo.
Yeah. Trust Disney until they give us a reason to not trust them.
My thought is probably... See, unfortunately, all of the backstage, behind-the-scenes sort of info on this movie is kind of, I think, coloring people's perception of it. And this delay is leading them to believe that the movie's a disaster and they don't have a trailer to show you yet because it's just a mess. Let me posit this to you. I'm more inclined to think maybe they didn't want to release a trailer while The Last Jedi was still basically in theaters, or it's the process of The Last Jedi. They were still in the Last Jedi phase of their promotion.
Yep.
Why throw another movie at people when you want them to focus on this one? It
seems like you're oversaturating the market. `Right.
So we'll let maybe they're just going to let that Last Jedi stuff kind of get everyone get out of their system and then be like, oh hey, Han Solo.
I still haven't seen Last Jedi a second time. I really want to.
You really should.
I know.
I think it comes out on Blu-ray soon. The cycle, isn't that amazing? We were kids. It would be like a year until you get a home video. Now it's like a month.
3 months.
3 months.
Yep.
Oh my God, the world we live in. So much information.
Yep. So that about does it for the news. We're going to move on now to our interview. This was recorded before we did the intro to the show, so my voice will sound considerably different and better. Here's our interview. All right, folks, as we mentioned earlier, we have a special guest in the courthouse tonight. And again, as we mentioned earlier, we are recording on location here at GameOn Land in sunny, beautiful Buffalo, New York. We are joined now by Mr. Josh Lonczak, owner-proprietor of GameOn Land. Josh, welcome to the courtroom.
How's it going today, guys?
It's going good. We're here because, as we mentioned earlier, the Devil's Due is sponsoring a pop bonus in the upcoming fighting game tournament that will be taking place here at GameOn Land on February 10th. And we wanted to talk to you because this place is kind of unique in that it's gone through some transformations. You start out one thing, and now you're kind of moving into something else. We thought it'd be really interesting to get some history from you and talk about like how you came to this place and just kind of your origin story and what brought you here.
All right. So I started obviously with gaming very young. My parents bought a Nintendo, and from the Nintendo, it just went on into gaming. So fast forward a little bit into my teenage years, I started playing World of Warcraft, and I get more into social gaming. Cyberjocks opens up a local LAN center where I met a lot of friends that had the same interests. And then when that place ended up closing, we went back to the old school, like LAN centers at people's houses or all-night parties at people's houses, stuff like that. And when we realized that me and Chris, that there was a piece of the gaming community missing from Buffalo, a place to go hang out and play games together in a community where, you know, other people enjoy doing that, we decided to create GameOn LAN. Initially, we started off with PCs, 42 PCs, Xbox Ones, PlayStation 4s. It quickly transformed. We added 2 virtual reality setups. We had a fighting game community, Brian, Cha-Cha, a local tournament organizer.
Guru.
Yeah, really a guru, actually, a genius behind running some of the major events here in New York. Does a great job. He's grown our community quite a bit in the fighting game scene. They come in on Wednesdays and Saturdays, run Ranbats, stuff like that. We've added pinball. The community's kind of really, we've gone from a esports PC, hardcore PC gaming center to more like a casual competitive fighting games where we have a community come out and hang out, and
Right.
It's become more of a gaming family. I guess it's a lot of fun. So
Right. I mean, I first discovered this place through the fighting game community, and originally coming out here on Wednesday nights and Saturdays. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to come as much or at all as I would like because baby happens and certain
priorities, dad.
Certain things have to
being
get
a dad
reorganized. But it's really a cool place that you've grown here. What prompted the shift from being like strictly a LAN center to like how did you first come in contact with Brian in the Buffalo fighting game community, and also like how did the shift in the pinball happen?
Pinball was an interesting addition to GameOn. Meeting Brian, we'll start. I guess we'll meet with meeting Brian. I think the fighting game community met at the Dome, the golf center.
Yes.
They met in the back over there. So that was the first time I had actually met Brian. And this was right when we were about to open GameOn. We were about to create a LAN center, a place for people to to meet in a storefront place specifically meant for gaming. And at that time, Buffalo Game Space was just starting up as well. So during, I think, in that transition, I met Brian, and we became a convenient alternative while Game Space started to get going. And we basically now we share the days. I guess Buffalo Game Space handles a few days over there with some of the Smash crowd, and now they come over here. So that's pretty much how I met Brian, and then from there, we've tried to help out each other with tournaments and events. I try to help out with equipment, and he does a fantastic job running our tournaments here.
Yeah,
so.
You seem to be very forward thinking as far as where to take this place next, because a lot of places, like you mentioned before, kind of say, okay, we're a LAN center, this is what we do, this is what we're going to do. And at least from my perspective, LAN gaming doesn't really attract the crowd it used to.
Not so much anymore. As far as like a PC gaming goes, in a casual crowd, it's not as I don't know how to explain it. It's still fun and casual to play those games, but it's not as big as it used to be. So consoles tend to bring out a much larger demographic to hang out and play. So what we're gearing towards is rather than bringing people in for gaming, which is amazing. We love the gaming part. We bring people in for more of the community, the social side. So fighting games or pinball, which is another thing. So we got approached by Buffalo Pinball. Another great company, Nick Lane. I got introduced to him. He came into our store. He said, "We run a pinball company, and we were wondering if they could put some pinballs in here." At first, I was like, didn't know how to feel about it because pinball, to me, you just kept the ball up. You just hit the flippers, you keep the ball up. Well, there's a whole, it's mechanics and missions and things you're supposed to do behind it. And as soon as I figured out that it was skill shot, that's when I wanted to get more involved, and then lo and behold, there's a massive community that's behind it, and pinball's making a major resurgence. So we're just trying to keep on top of a center where there's a lot of things that you can't get outside of GameOn, and you can still come, hang out, social environment, make some new friends, and loiter and play games, I guess.
Do you find that there's different demographics between the LAN, the fighting games, and the pinball, like age ranges, or
kind of, not really. I mean, it's pretty much everywhere. As
wide
far
open?
As far as gamers go, it's pretty much the demographics going to be from like it's really
kids to adults, really.
Yeah, it is. It's kids to adults, and as far as pinball goes, it's almost the same thing. I guess pinball is going to be a little bit more of the older crowd, but once you start to introduce, like I started to introduce some of the pinball machines to some of the fighting game guys, we started to drag them over and play. And once they started to realize that, this is more to it than what I originally thought.
Just hitting buttons.
Yeah, they started to come back and they play more. So I think it's just a matter of introducing, but as far as the demographic goes, I think pinball is really the only one that might stand out just a tiny bit. But as far as everything else goes, I guess it's pretty much pretty even across the board.
Cool.
I'd imagine.
So what are... It sounds like kind of a generic question. What are the top games you're seeing right now? Because we see what's top in sales, but that doesn't necessarily mean
right.
That's what people are playing on a regular basis.
Right.
Se. What do you see people coming here to kind of play regularly?
Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Overwatch, and Players Unknown. And as far as consoles go, Street Fighter, Tekken, and Smash 4 are going to be the top titles that people come out to play.
Now, how does it work when a customer comes in, they want to play something? Obviously, you can't put a quarter slot on a computer.
No, yeah. So the way it works, when someone first comes in, they can come in, they create a username and account. So mine's a Ripple Effect. What you would do is you come in, set up your username, you'd add time to that account in the form of credits. 1 credit equals 1 hour. When you add time to the account, you go to sit down, you log in with that account, time starts to track automatically by the minute. When you log out, any time you have left over on your account would stay on your account. So we're like a gaming library. We have like 60 or 70 of the top titles for PC, and like 20 or 30 for console. Console works the same way. We'd get you set up on a console, give you a gaming controller, and we log you in up at the front console. And then when you want to log out, you just return the gaming controller to us, and we log you out. It's like simply like a Dave & Buster's, I guess, except with PCs and consoles.
That's really cool. Where do you want to take this place? What's like the next step?
Beer and wine.
I'm listening.
Drew is a massive beer aficionado, even to the point of brewing.
I'm a home brewer, award-winning.
Really?
Yeah. So it's kind of my bag. So if you tell me you got beer coming in, I'm like, well.
We sell this energy drink. It's called Balls.
I've had Balls.
Tastes like balls.
People drive from all over the state to buy my Balls. It sounds terrible, BAWLS, but it's an energy drink. So
it's brilliant marketing.
I've had Josh's Balls.
Yes,
they wake you right up.
Best energy drink you could get. So, it's hard to pair like a gaming theme night with an energy drink, I guess, But we started to realize again in transforming, like trying to keep on top of things. How do we get people to want to come in and casuals? We're gonna start to do a beer and wine. So D&D and beer night, or fighting games. We're gonna end up doing some sort of survival game and beer night. So just start to pair things where the gaming night is cheap or free, but we pair it with
buy the wine and beer. That's a cool idea. You said D&D. Do you mean like
Dungeons and Dragons?
Well, but like, do you mean like
tabletop games?
Tabletop.
Yeah. We're gonna get into, because we have a lot of space in the back. Since we use it for fighting games, we decided on other nights why not start to actually bring in tabletop games.
Drew and I
also enjoy the tabletops.
Game night every Friday night. Tabletop games. We love them. That's pretty awesome. You're a couple steps ahead of the curve, sir. Kudos to you.
We're trying to target everything that we can without overreaching and trying to spread ourselves too thin. But
so now, how do you dress, like when you get into like beer and wine? Because obviously you need a license for that. Mm-hmm. How do you dress like younger crowds coming in?
So that's the tricky part. That's the one thing that we're trying to work out right now. So I guess you can't be in the facility if you're under 18. But you can be in the facility if you're over 18 and over. You just can't drink. 21 and over, obviously, to drink. we can change and alter like certain rules where we don't serve alcohol up until 9 o'clock, at which point you'd have to be 19 or 18 to enter the facility. And then prior to that, you could be up to, I think it's 16. But even then, after under 16, you still need a parent or guardian. So we're not sure what kind of demographic we would lose by moving to beer and wine. But then again, we're not sure what kind of demographic we would attract as well. So it's stuff that we're looking into, and I think we're still going to lean towards beer and wine because we would be Buffalo's first gaming beer and wine bar, basically.
First and probably only.
Probably only, yeah. And I think it would go over pretty well.
So it's something we're looking into. We're looking forward to it.
Do you have space for a bar? Or are you just going to have bottles and cans?
Actually, it's just going to be bottles and cans. Yeah, it's going to be all local. So my neighbor owns Big Ditch Brewery, Corey Kettle on it.
I love Big Ditch.
Yeah, good
they
beer.
are my favorite local brewery.
Yeah, very good beer. So I plan on trying to reach out to all the local breweries and just have just their bottled beer here only. So just alternative. That's it.
Excellent.
So
you should maybe think about reaching out to the homebrew clubs too and doing like tasting nights and things like that.
That is a fantastic idea.
Just putting that out there.
Mix that in with some tabletop games.
Absolutely.
And,
you'd get a crowd.
I'm liking it.
Promise you would.
All right.
I'd show up.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly for the games, not so much for the beer.
Yeah,
I don't have the palate for beer that Drew has. Not that I don't like it. I know what I like, and I drink that. I don't really.
There you go.
It's a process.
Yeah,
it's an
evolution.
It's right.
It's a play on words.
Kind of like that.
So we've got I've always wondered about this. Fighting game tournaments always have a clever name, something that's like flashy on a billboard.
Yeah. Yep.
This is literally just called the Fighting Game Tournament.
Yes. Okay.
Who decided to just go with that?
I'm not going to say myself, but myself. And originally, when we first I was talking to Brian, as I mentioned before, Cha-Cha, he runs our events. We were trying to come up with a name. In our first tournament that we ran, I just called it the Fighting Game Tournament. I didn't know what to call it. There were other games. There's like 5 or 6 games. I was new to this. I wasn't a console player. Again, I was a PC person, and I just kind of grouped it all together. And lo and behold, it ended up being this funny thing. There was one of the guys came down from Toronto, and he's like, he goes, we all put some time in when we make our events into thinking about what we want to name our tournaments. And he's like, but you go. You just named yours the Fighting Game Tournament. I go, yeah. He goes, it was hilarious. I like it, So it just turned out to be this like this kind of a little bit of a joke, but it's funny now. It's we like it. It's
the uniquely named.
Well, you're putting it on Front Street, that's for sure.
Right. it's the Fighting Game Tournament, the TFGT. Nice. So it's kind of played out in a funny way. I like it a lot now.
Cool. There's actually do you do a lot of tabletop gaming yourself?
Not terribly too much. Some board games. I tried to get into Warhammer a little bit. I ended up not. Only because I'm like, oh wow, the paint. This all looks really fun. And then I realized, wow, this is a lot of there's a lot of work,
a lot of time.
Yeah. And then I was like, all right, I realized that this requires as much time as I would put into like other passions and hobbies. In order to do that, I can't take away from those.
Yeah, there's because I mentioned when we were talking at Rumble and Tundra, I've gotten into over the past year the X-Wing miniatures game, and that's like kind of chess with Star Wars ships. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Those ships come pre-painted. That's kind of one of the things.
Okay.
That's the lure.
Ooh, wait, so it's done and it looks
less
good.
work for me.
There was a tournament I was at for X-Wing that they were also running Warhammer. In the time it took them to complete one round of Warhammer, we had finished 3 games of X-Wing. And X-Wing tournament standard for an X-Wing match is 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's a little quicker then, yeah.
I think
it's brisk.
I think you made the right choice to maybe not.
Let's get involved,
Go there. What are you currently playing right now?
Not to mention the price. The price is
so...
Yeah. I gotta get the metal ones, of course. You can't buy the plastic ones. No one wants the plastic ones.
My wife is a saint because she is...
I bought 10 of the metal ones, and then I stopped buying them.
Yeah. She kind of smiles and nods when I come bring home a new X-Wing ship. Fortunately, I'm at a point where I'm not buying one every week now. And
Everyone has their hobby, right?
Well, he's got a
their
plan for
hobby.
the expansion on his house to house the ones he's already purchased.
Right,
so,
the little library, the museum for him.
Exactly.
He's curating, really.
Yeah.
What, as far as video games, are you currently playing anything now? Do you find you get to play as much as you'd like? Or?
I do get my fair share of playing. I probably get a few hours in a day. Counter-Strike and PlayerUnknown Battleground. My two favorite games to play. PlayerUnknown is just it's a great realistic survival sim, and
I've heard of it's called
huge.
PUBG for short. Right?
PUBG, yeah.
I've heard of this game crazy over the past couple months. Is it first person or
it's first person or third person?
Okay.
It's so what happens is there's 100 people. You're put on a plane, and it cross sections a map. The map is 10 kilometers by 10 kilometers. So the plane randomly cross-sections the map, and you all parachute out of this plane. And you get to parachute down to the ground. And down at the ground on city level, there's encampments, houses, buildings, cities. And you run from house to house and you loot. You pick up a gun, ammo, vest, helmet, healthcare, stuff like that. Healthcare. Meds, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And an outer ring begins to close in on you. So you have to work your way towards this white ring. If you get caught outside the white ring, an electric field comes in and starts to damage you. So you have to. It continuously forces you, kind of like a Game of Thrones, King of the Hill type of thing.
Okay.
Forces you down into the end
and it's
to be last man standing.
Every person for himself,
unless you play squads or duos. Or
okay. Yeah.
So,
what? Counter-Strike's been around for years.
It'll never die.
What?
I've been playing it since forever. I just 1.0,
is the
9.9.
appeal that keeps it going?
It is the fastest skill shot registration game out. That's I shouldn't say that because there's like a Ratchet and Clank. There are the games that are really fast skill shot. I shouldn't say that. But as far as mainstream first person shooter, high registration skill shot game, there's nothing that beats Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
it is the fastest click to shoot, click to point, and register the shot game you can get right now. It shows the major skill of a first person shooter. I mean, aside from other games, you have Battlefield 4 that has its own, mechanics, but the tick rate, there's still lag problems, there's still registration problems. You go right down to Counter-Strike, it cuts out all the crap. There's it's the registration is bar none the best. It's 128 tick servers. They're amazing. That's probably why it'll never die.
So they just kind of made it right the first time, and everyone else never caught up.
Yeah, it's not even like it's ahead of its time. It's just its own thing. I play PUBG. It's a great shooter. Shot registration is the same. The bullets hit, but it's different. There's bullet travel time. There's windage. There's elevation. There's the bullet actually drops. So it's a different game. Counter-Strike is the bullets are laser beams. They go forever.
Sure. Okay.
So it's just a click and point. But there's no other click and point shooter like that provides the satisfaction and the registration that kill the way Counter-Strike does.
Interesting. And Counter-Strike's been out for quite a while. Right?
For a long time. I don't even know how many years.
And it's still top dog.
Yeah. As far as a first person shooter prize pools goes, we actually just had the majors. Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the CS majors, E-League majors just won. Cloud9 just beat FaZe. First time North American CS has ever taken a major.
Oh, wow.
So, $500,000 to the first place. Yeah, they each walked away with $100,000. Yeah, 16, 15, 14-year-olds like that.
It's nice work if you can get it.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad.
So, one thing I'm curious about, because obviously we see where things like, PlayStation, Xbox fit into an esports or a LAN competition-based area.
Mm-hmm.
Something like Nintendo, where they're not, would you say they're not as heavy in that area?
No, not at all. At least to me as a Nintendo fan.
How does recent systems like the Wii kind of underperformed, and now the Switch is going like gangbusters? How do more, for lack of a better term, casual systems like Nintendo fit in a place like this?
Okay, so they have a lot of party games. 1-2 Switch, and then they have a lot of their staples. You have Zelda, the Breath of the Wild, and Splatoon 2. It's more in a facility like this. It would probably be more for getting people involved, social experiments, stuff like that. Not social experiments, I guess. Not really the way to say it, but more like a social way to jam people together. Nintendo's very good at doing that, and they have a lot of your party games, Mario Kart and stuff like that. It fits in okay here. It has its place. We use it for our LANs and stuff like that.
Cool.
What would be your top? What would you do, like Splatoon night and Mario Kart?
1-2 switch, actually.
Really?
1-2 switch, yeah, for a LAN night. Yeah, we do quick draw, the shooting one. And,
no one likes 1-2 switch.
Yeah, it's the one that we could do the fastest for getting people like a physical activity moving as opposed to sitting down at their chair. So that's the only time we really use it. Otherwise, if people come in, they'll play Breath of the Wild and stuff. But
yeah, I see that.
From our aspect to get involved with the customers more, we like it to get people up, moving, talking, interacting with each other more face-to-face type things.
So 4-player split-screen Mario Kart might not be beneficial to friendships, so maybe not such a good idea.
It's destroyed friendship.
Oh, sir.
Controller people getting hit.
Oh.
TVs have been thrown on floors. Brothers and sisters have hated each other forever because of
That's crazy.
No, but it has its place. It works well. I mean, people play Mario Kart still here. But the original investment for the Switch was, personally for us, I think was the 1-2 Switch, that game.
That's pretty amazing.
And Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Well, yeah.
But that's that's single player game.
And how?
How many hours, Drew?
240.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have gotten stuck on the Trial of the Swords, and I have this thing about when I play games that I can't walk away from it now. I have to beat it.
Try to think. Did I finish the Trial of the Sword? Which one is that? Is that one of the DLCs?
I think so. You have to go through all the levels, the room floors.
Yeah, I didn't finish that. I got to like level 9 or 10, and
I can't stop.
Couldn't do it.
I can't stop. It's driving me nuts, and I haven't played it in a couple months because I get to the next room, then I die, and I'm like, but I can't continue on. It's like it's taunting me.
I've been there. I had to put that one down, but then the second DLC pack came out with the heroes, or what, the Champions Ballad or whatever it's called, the Champions Quest or all that.
Okay.
So you get there's like 20-ish new shrines. And to kickstart the whole campaign, you have to go back to the resurrection chamber or whatever, and you get a weapon that can kill anything in the game with one hit. But you are limited to 1/4 heart.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So that's how you have to start the mission, and you have to do like these different objectives with only 1/4 heart. And clear out this. You have to clear out these different encampments of enemies to unlock the shrine that tells you where the other shrines are.
So they really make you learn the mechanics.
I would say that the Champions Ballad DLC it's completely dependent on your mastery of the game's mechanics. So even the shrines themselves, they're not random, and they're not like single trick puzzles. They all basically assume that you know how to use the bomb, you know how to use the cryo, you know how to use the magnesis and all that,
right? And
it puts it all into play, and it was most excellent.
I'll have to check it out. And
I had that break like you did probably. Like after I beat it, I kind of put Zelda down for a little bit, and then I had that break, and I was playing some other stuff, and then I got back into it with the DLC, and I was just in the middle of playing the game, and every so often it would just dawn on me as I'm playing, like, I love this game so much. It's so great. I just like running around playing.
It is a good game. It really is. Yeah. It really is a good game. I enjoy the hell out of that game.
Check out the DLC. It's great.
Absolutely. I'm gonna have to do that.
So we'll get you out of here soon. To kind of bring us to that, every time you have a major event here, you stream on Twitch. How's the Twitch relationship worked out for you?
It works out really well, actually. We've reached out to some. We haven't reached out. We've reached some big names, ASIO, and then in the fighting game community, I guess Beefuteki's been helping out quite a bit. So what we do is when we have a major event, we stream to GameOn Esports on Twitch TV, and we pull in anywhere from 62 to a couple hundred viewers for each event, and that's pretty much how it works. It works out okay for us. It gives us some coverage. It lets people who can't make it to the event see it, from other states or other cities, and root for whoever that is that they're watching for. So
nice. All right, Josh, we can't thank you enough for your time. I know you're very busy and running on very little sleep, so we will get you out of here.
Thank you.
Before you take off,
you got to hoard the wares.
Yeah, let the people know where they can find you, where they can find this awesome place, contact information, anything you want to put out there for the people to know, fire away. Sir.
Yeah, sure. So, it's GameOn. We're located at 3660 Delaware Avenue. We have 40 PCs, Xbox Ones, PlayStation 4s, 12 pinball machines, a full kitchen, 2 virtual reality setups. We do tournaments and LANs every month. And you guys, if you want to stay up to date with us all the time, check us out on Facebook at GameOn LAN. And that's it. Well,
one last question.
Sure
can I take the Metallica pinball machine home with me?
Yes. I hate that machine. No, I'm kidding. It's a great machine.
Okay.
It's a great machine.
I'll happily take it home.
You can take AC/DC.
Yeah, not as much.
Not as much.
Not as much.
Do you play some pinball?
In my youth, but it's a Metallica pinball machine, and I kind of feel like I need it.
You should play it before you go. It's a great game.
I was planning on it, so not to worry.
All right,
Josh. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome back anytime. I'm sure we'll have you on in the future.
Right.
All right. Many thanks to Josh for having us here at Game On Land. That about does it here for us in this week's episode of The Devil's Due. We thank you very much for joining us again. We thank you to Game On Land for having us here tonight. We're going to pack up our stuff now. Drew's going to play some Metallica pinball.
Yeah.
We are actually going to be here for the fighting game tournament. Drew and I will be here. We're going to have a little table here. We're going to have some flyers and whatnot to give out to help promote the show. So if you want to meet us, A, what's wrong with you? B,
Stole my line, man.
You can do so. We're also going to have some free comics to give away. I'm going through a lot of stuff I'm reading and some of the stuff that I'm just, have notes that are holding on to. So we're going to have some free comics to give away.
Look at that.
So show up, support Game On Land, support the Buffalo fighting game community, get some free comics, have a good time, meet us, greet us. Chance you might actually end up on the show. You never know.
It's happened before. It has
happened before. Drew, my voice is just about shot again. I don't think I'm quite in Frank Welker Megatron territory.
That was still mind bending.
Dr. Mind bending.
I see what you did there.
And you like it.
No shirt, cape,
suspenders,
monocle.
I think
those designers had a fun job, didn't they?
Because we gotta say it once a show at least, not for nothing. If I shave my head,
he was kind of buff though,
and my chest.
You do have the mustache going.
I got the mustache,
but do you have the monocle?
I can find the monocle.
Okay, I like this idea. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong, Drew?
Nothing. Not a thing.
All right.
It's beautiful.
Folks, thank you very much for joining us. As always, if you would like to reach out to the show, send us some questions or some comments, you can find us at the following locations. I'm actually going to let Drew read because my voice is just heard.
Oh, man. As per usual, you can find us at the following locations. On the Twitter, Devils Do Pod. Facebook.com/Devils Do Pod. The Devils Do Podcast. I'm sorry. Correction, sir. The Devils Do Pod @gmail.com. I'm new at this. And everything I just said, real simple. The Devils Do Podcast.com. Everything is there for your leisure. Subscribe to iTunes there. Subscribe to the Google Play Store there. Grab the RSS feed link there. Put it into your podcast app of choice. And that's going to do her. Anything else, Carl? Well, look at the tables turn here. Any final thoughts, Carl?
Nope. I'm going to go home and play some Dragon Ball.
Well then, kiddies. Look at me. Look at me what I get to do.
Y'all go.
Court's adjourned.